All right, Doug, after 10 years, the F-86 is ready to go, and you flew it to Oshkosh.
Yep, after 10 years, a long reconstruction, refurbishment, renewal. It's got a new life, zero time, and we flew it up here to Oshkosh, no gripes.
So you were telling me that you did a bunch of test flights in Florida, and you were a little concerned about flying to Oshkosh, long trip, but the flight was uneventful, perfect.
Yeah, we did 10 test flights within Florida. We had not taken it out of the state, and the first cross country would be 1,000 miles to Oshkosh, so we were concerned that maybe we'd have some small maintenance snags on the way, but we had no gripes.
So this aircraft flew in the Argentinian Air Force, first in the United States Air Force, Argentina Air Force, then came to the U.S. And how did you find out about it?
Yeah, it flew with the U.S. Air Force until 1960. It was sold to the Argentine Air Force, and it served there from 60 to 91. And then in 1991, it was brought back to the U.S. Along with another dozen or so aircraft into Texas, and was sold to a private operator. He had it for about 10 years, but it didn't fly a lot, and then he disassembled it for renewal and reconstruction, and he lost interest in it, and it was transferred to the Commemorative Air Force. They had it 3 or 4 years and did some work on it, not a lot, and then I was contacted by the CAF, and they said, was I looking for another Sabre? So I'd had Sabres in the past, and we said, yeah, we would take this one on.
Perfect. So you flew the Skyblazer, F-86 Skyblazer, and then this one. Why the F-86? You're a naval aviator, and you're flying Air Force fighters.
Well, the F-86 is an iconic fighter, the first swept-wing fighter for the U.S. And the Navy actually operated F-86s. They had the several models of the F-86, and then they had the Fury. And so the Navy did operate Sabres, but not a lot. It wasn't a carrier-friendly airplane. But it's just hard to be consumed with historic military aviation like I am and not have a real passion for the F-86, especially since I focused all my warbirds on fighters. The F-86 is got to be the ultimate, and it's a great flying machine. So the restoration included having to disassemble the aircraft further from the situation we got it in on delivery. We received the major assemblies, the 2 wings and the fuselage and the tail section and the engine. So we then went into each one of those sections in detail: disassembly, inspection, replacement of components, paint, corrosion proofing and painting, new lines, hydraulic lines, all 3,800 new electrical wires, all new avionics, a new ejection seat, and then finally the reassembly and paint, and then systems testing and functioning, everything like that. It took us 3 extra years just on the wiring was the biggest thing. But in essence, we're able to complete with a zero-time new, in effect, a new F-86 with a almost zero-time engine in it.
Perfect.
So I selected Joseph McConnell to be the hero that we would honor. Joe McConnell was the top-scoring ace in Korea with 16 kills. He had also served in World War II, so this was his second time in combat. And unfortunately, after he was transferred back to the U.S., he was killed in flight testing in an F-86. But we picked his scheme, his fighter group, fighter wing, fighter squadron, and put his 16 kill stars on the front left of the fuselage. He named the primary nose art is Beauteous Butch, which was his nickname for his lovely wife. And then on the right side of the fuselage, it's Betty, which is his mother's name.
Recently, you have sold some of your assets. You have a one F-86 now. So what's next for that?
We're looking for another F-86 project or a P-51 project. We've also taken in a Gazelle helicopter with the possibility of maybe importing some of those ex-French Army and Royal Air Force helicopters into the U.S. It's a high-performance ex-warbird in a way, and we're just looking for Classic Fighter's next big warbird project.